Alright, after last video, you probably took some time to do some homework. Got a handle on your budget, check your credit, and also probably took some time to go down a subdivision or neighborhood of an ideal place you're wanting to live and see what that's like. So now it's time for the real conversation, the one where your home dreams meet professional strategy. Meeting with the real estate agent is like mixing a whiskey sour. It's all about the balance. This is a time where you bring your vision, your must-haves, and also any collage or Pinterest board to the meeting. And they're going to bring knowledge, negotiation power, and perspective you didn't know that you needed. But in order to get the most out of that first meeting, you have to come prepared. And this is a time where you have to be upfront and honest with that real estate agent. This episode is all about getting clear on what you want, what you need, and also where you're willing to compromise inside the home. This is Keys and Cocktails, and today we're keeping it honest and refreshing, one whiskey sour at a time. Let's talk about finding the right home and also the right agent for you. See you when we're sitting. Hi, are you a first-time buyer?
Yes, I am.
All right this way. And he'll be right with you. That was a demonstration of what to expect when walking into a new buyer's consultation here at Century 21 Judge Fite. My name is Jaylanharper, and I'm a licensed realtor out here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Last video, we went over things you can do and prepare for before meeting a real estate agent and also sitting down and talking to a lender. Today is going to be over what to discuss when you have your first buyer's consultation. So let's get started. We are in the type of real estate market where it's okay to take your time and slow down and have that one-on-one meeting with a real estate agent. And that doesn't mean over the phone unless you're out of state or say Austin to Dallas. But you have to remember, as a buyer, this might be one of your biggest purchases you will make in your life. So why not do it right and protect your dream? That means taking the time and making sure the agent is the right fit for you and you're the right fit for that agent. So when taking a look at my presentation, I go over what to expect, which goes over learning about you, touring the property, and sharing about our services. So one of the things is our Judge Fite Charitable Foundation, which I tend to go through this a little bit longer just because I'm a big part of this foundation. I host some of the events in our office to raise money for them in Easter sales. Like for instance, August 22nd, I'll be doing a wine and whiskey tour here in Mansfield. So I go over that platform, and also during Thanksgiving, we do a pie day where we give back to our past clients and current clients. But then we go over I go over core values and what that means to our company and me as an agent. This is one of the biggest things that I say is important, and that's going over our turnkey service. So for instance, with Century 21 Judge Fite, we have our own property management, title company, our reload team. We have our own insurance, and then also we have a partnered mortgage company, Meridian Mortgage, and that's going to be Michelle Creech. And then we also have a wide range of vendor networks. And having a turnkey service means when throughout the whole transaction, we have the people here to get you through that contract and the deal. And instead of taking time to figure out how finding movers, electricity company, insurance, we have all that provided here in the company. And once you get into a contract, you will get emails, and we have that turned off, but you'll get emails of what's next to do, what's next. apply for this, set up your electricity and utilities. So having a turnkey service is pretty important here at this company. Then, like I said, we go over our advantages and everything we offer. And then we go over the house selling process, which in this case, it would be the buyer's process. And then, as you see right here, we go over the terms. And again, if you click the link down below, there's the ultimate first time home buyers guide. And this gives you, in the guide, it gives you a whole bunch of definitions of what you're going to see in the contracts here. And then also everything you need to know about the buying process. So this is pretty much what my presentation looks like, and I go through all this for my clients. That way they know what we're getting into. That lets you know what kind of brokerage I work for, and that will be on your side throughout this whole contract. But once I get done going over that, I then go into talking about myself and who I am and what type of values I bring to the table as your agent. Which at this time I go over, for example, I go over my showing hours, which for instance, it would be Mondays. I have Bible study in the afternoon, so I don't show on those days, and I don't show on Sundays. And then also when Philadelphia Eagles are playing, I don't show at all. So I go over those topics. And then with showings too, I also go over my guide that I provide, and that's talking about how I conduct my showings. So every house that we view, you will get a property evaluation form from me, and what it does is it gives you the chance. So when we show about 10 houses, you're not going to really remember the first one. So having this paper in hand, walking throughout the whole house, it gives you the chance to remember and reflect on what you thought about a home. So it'll go over what price would you buy this house, what were some of your favorite features of the property, what were your least favorite features about this property, and then down below I have a scales chart, which I basically want you to scale 1 through 5, letting me know 5 is the best. And what this does is, if we want to put in an offer, I'll go back to them and remind them, hey, you said the bathrooms were 4, the master bedroom was a 5. Would you really want to let that type of home go away just because, say for instance, kitchen didn't have an island? So having this sheet and this form throughout the whole showing process, it gives a certain type of advantage for me. Second, I go over how I get offers accepted. So I'm somewhat unique in this process, and I learned it from another agent back in 2021, 2022, and it was how to get an offer accepted. Well, they showed me how to do a video, and I do one just like this one. Hey Barry, this is Jaylanharper with Century 21 Judge Fite. I just wanted to make a quick video and let you know that my clients love your townhome on Homewood Lane in Grand Prairie, Texas, and he's already interested in what he could do with the property. So once I get back to the office, I'm going to write up an offer and send it your way. But I just wanted to let you know in advance, that way if your clients are planning on accepting offers soon, if they could hold off for me. But thank you for putting homes on the market for our buyers. You're doing a great job. Bye. So I do videos like that for most of my buyers just because it gives the chance for the seller agent to see the face behind the person who's sending the contract and calling them as an agent. And then also it shows a different type of personality I bring to the table, meaning I'm eager to go out my way and do something more extraordinary than other agents just to get my clients' offers in front of their face. And for instance, a while back, I beat a cash offer that was offering $20,000 over what my clients were offering, and they had an FHA. And my offer got accepted just because the agent said he loves my personality and he's seen that I meant business. So something like that was fun. Also, I've once did it over on a golf course with my friends in the background yelling at me to come on. And during that video, I sent it to an agent, and I was basically discussing that my clients love the house and we're looking to put an offer on it after I get done shooting a 120 on this golf course. And if you know golf, 120 isn't that good. So she laughed at it and then sent it to her husband, and he got a kick out of it, which then he followed me on Facebook, and we've been in communication every now and then, especially since he's a Dallas Cowboys fan and I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan, so we comment on each other's videos a lot. But doing something like that shows type of value I bring to the table, and that's going out my way to make sure you get the best opportunity at hand. Next, last thing, what I'm good at is negotiating. I love to argue, and it's not in a bad way, but I do what I need to get my client's house offer accepted. So my negotiation style looks like this. So I make sure my clients get the best hand dealt to them, and that means if we're in an option period and we need concessions, and again, if you're wondering what concessions are, you can look at the Ultimate First Time Home Buyers Guide, but I try to get all my buyers concessions in a way. But my negotiation skills is top notch. Let's see, like this Open Door, I've had 2 deals with them where I got them to drop their price from 314 to 300,000 due to market appraisal values, which I negotiated with them to drop that price down. And then on top of that, I got $8,000 for my buyers on closing fees and just for repairs to pay for the roof and some other stuff. But I was good at negotiating with them with that. The second one, we had a problem. I helped my friend buy a house out there in Austin, and there was a little problem. So I went back and forth with the agent, and we settled with giving my clients concessions. So with my negotiation, I like to, like I said, give my clients the best hand dealt to them. Biggest thing at the end of the day is I will fight for you as if it's the only deal for my family. And what does that mean? That means I will go out my way, and if I cause a wake, I'm gonna cause a wake. But it's not it's not in a bad way. It means that I'm passionate about what I do and the clients that I serve. For instance, a new build. I'm not going to say the name because I could get in trouble with that. However, I'll say we had multiple problems with them, and every time we visit with the representative there, he told my clients one thing, then later on it was something else. For instance, they said that there will be a master bath and shower. There will be a bathtub and a shower in the master bathroom. Well, he then turned around and said, once the house started getting somewhat complete, he said, "Oh no, that was a different model. That wasn't this model." Well, you told us what my clients were going to get, and we had it in video too. So I also video stuff like that. That way my clients don't get railroaded at the end. Well, throughout the whole transaction, it was going back and forth, back and forth. We weren't hearing anything from them. We were getting lies from him, and then also their preferred lender, which when it comes to new builds, they're the preferred lenders for a reason because they helped them out. But doing that, I then had to go and talk to corporate, which I got them involved, and my clients got concessions and a price reduction on their new build. So I'm a key value when it's time to actually work and do what's best for my clients. All right, after that, talking about who my brokerage is and what they have to offer you. And then second, talking about who I am and what I have to offer you. We then go to something that most agents at Central 21 Judge Fite, and specifically in this office, we go over a buyer's need determination form. So let me pull that one up real quick. Now I pulled it up. This is the time where you get to sit down and basically the meat and gravy of this whole interaction, and that's letting the agent get to know who you are and what they can do for you. And if you did the pre-market search, then you should know all these questions offhand and say, this is what I want and this is what I expect. So let's look at the buyer's need determination questionnaire. So first, we're going to get your contact information, everything we need to know for you and whoever else have a determining factor in buying this house. Second, we're going to go over the number of bedrooms, bathrooms, all the home requirements. And what this does is this helps us narrow down your search. I know you already did the pre-market search. However, this information is now getting to the real estate agent. And like I said, with us agents here, we tend to look at this page almost every single day. So we know that we're sending you properties that fits your right criteria, because we don't want to take our time and send you the wrong information, have you looking at homes that basically don't fit anything in your criteria and what you want in a home. So we go through this whole form. So that's the first page. The next one is going to be over if you have any experience in buying a home, and if so, then let us know. Then financing. We'll go vague into that. It asks, do you understand how home financing works? Everything you need to know about that. Also, again, that will be in the Ultimate First Time Home Buyers Guide. And then this is a time where you get to sit down and go over your schedule, your time frame. When is the time that you want to actually move into your home? Also, showings. How is it going to work? So this is what I mean by it's great to sit and have a one-on-one conversation with an agent, see if they're a right fit with you. Just because if if an agent has kids and they have their kids' functions these days, but those are also the days that you're wanting to go show and you need to show due to your schedule, then that's when we start to see if that agent is the right fit for you. So this is a time where you discuss, is it okay for, say, one of the spouse go look at the home by themselves with the agent, or do we both need to be present? And I will say this, I didn't think, as an agent, I didn't think anything of this, but I've been in a situation where, due to culture, that the woman couldn't just go couldn't go view a home with the male agent. So learning stuff like that, I started incorporating that into my business and asking those type of questions. So that's something you might need to discuss. How does that look? For instance, I do every now and then, I just show either the husband or the wife, and then also during that time we make a video, and I'll bring the other spouse back later so they can see it. And doing that shows time of essence, meaning if only one could go view, I would rather take that one person and come back later with the other spouse, just because I want to know what do y'all think, just so if I can go ahead and start getting a contract ready, I could do that without trying to rush later on. A second, for instance, I played sports. So there's some days like Friday, I go with my father to, every now and then on Fridays, I go with my father to go watch high school football, because his cousin is the head coach for North Crowley, Ray Gates, and we like to go support. So some Fridays I told my clients these days don't work, just because I'll be hanging with my pops and going to a football game. So this is where you break down the showing process and what to expect later on. Next, we talk about submitting an offer and how that process looks. Again, during this time, I go over what my clients are going to need to put into the contract and the definitions of all that. But when I get done writing that offer, I also call them while they're reading it and signing it. That way, if they have questions, they can go over it with me. And I try to tell them, if we're going to put an offer in on a home, at least let me know in advance. That way, if I'm out, I could already prepare. But most of the time, I have my iPad with me, so there's no big problem of me not being ready, and I could do a contract within 10 to 20 minutes if I have everything on hand. So with that being said, let's talk about the lending. So when you're in this buyer's consultation, you want to hear about the different opportunities you have. Again, if you did your homework, you know. But if you didn't, then during this time, agents need to go over what are the lending options, who are their preferred lenders. For instance, mine is Michelle Creech with Meridian Mortgage. And then also, I will ask some vague questions like, how's your credit score? Who do you work for? Stuff like that. That way I'm not basically yanking your chain and saying, let's go talk to a lender. Let's go talk to a lender real quick. I can let you know in advance if it might be a good opportunity or if we might wait. So doing that, it saves you time in the long run, with that buyer's consultation, because now you have an understanding of who the brokerage is, who the agent is, and also if y'all are going to be a right fit for each other. At the end of every buyer's consultation, I try to go over the buyer's rep agreement and basically let them know what it entails. And that means how we get paid, what is our obligation to you, and what is our fiduciary to you. So I normally don't ever get this signed right there and then, just because if you're meeting with an agent right after me, then I don't want you to worry about getting out of a contract with me and trying to get in one with them, because again, you might meet somebody after me and you're like, they might be even a more better fit for me. So that's less paperwork I have to do to get out of that contract. So normally I go over this form, let them know how much I'll be getting paid, how I'll be getting paid. I'll let them know I'm gonna try to get it from the seller and then the seller brokerage. If I can't do that, then you are obligated to pay me as the buyer's rep agreement states. You will be paying me regardless. I'll get paid regardless, even if it's through the seller's brokerage, or you. I will be getting paid, and at the end of the day, buyers are the ones who are supposed to be paying the buyer's agents, not sellers. But in today's practice, as a seller, it shows a stronger chance of you getting your house sold, if I'm allowed to say that. But neither here nor there. But again, I try to not get that signed right off the back. And normally I get it signed before I go do a showing. If you call me and say, hey, we're ready to go start looking at homes, I say, okay, I'm going to send you the buyer's rep agreement. I'm also going to bring it in person. And most of the time I do have it hand signed, because I want to be there right with them again to go over what is everything you're seeing. That way I'm not doing a Houdini and changing numbers without your knowledge. So, excuse me. So that's really everything you need to know about the buyer's consultation. Down below, there's going to be a link for more questions that you can ask a buyer agent and that you should ask a buyer agent, but also the ultimate home buyer guide. But next video, we're going to be talking about lending. So cheers to you, and like and subscribe down below and click the notification button, and I'll see you next week.